Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Off the Clock. I'm your host, Sierra Jones. Today we have CEO, entrepreneur, Miss Tiffany Draper. We're going to be getting to know her a little bit better, learn about the Women's Expo coming up soon, and some exciting things that she has as well. Without further ado, let's get Tiffany Draper off the clock. Welcome. I am here with the Tiffany Draper. She has a long list of things: CEO, author, entrepreneur, all of it, you name it, she does it. Thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you. So look, before we talk about the many things that you do, can we first just talk about you, just how you got started? Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. I think entrepreneurship is something that just kind of fell into my lap. My grandfather is 82. We just celebrated his 82nd birthday, and he's always been an entrepreneur as long as I've been alive. And so he was a mechanic, and he worked on cars in his backyard. And I saw that he had all this freedom, like he would pick me up from school and stuff like that. But he was the only real type of entrepreneur that I had ever known. I had a career job for a very long time, and I just never thought that I'd be an entrepreneur. I am coming up on the year of being a full-time entrepreneur, June 9th.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And it's exciting. It's been a roller coaster. It's been kind of scary, bumps and turns and, ebbs and flows. And so, but it's been very rewarding.
So you said you worked, was it government job, corporate job for 15 years?
I worked for the city of Huntsville in human resources for 15 years.
So let's bring it back to like college, high school, just the 20s area, that age group. Did you, at that time, what did you want to do?
I wanted to be a dentist.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have very beautiful teeth, right? And I just like teeth, right? Yeah. And so I just thought that's what I wanted to do. And somebody shot that dream down and they were like, no, you don't want to do that. And I was like, but I like looking at people's mouths, like, why not? So then I thought, you know what, well, I'm a very good communicator, so I'd be a great English teacher. So I thought I'd do that. And then I had like my fair share of going into the classroom, and I was like, no, not doing that. And so I thought that I wanted to be a video jockey, like some type of, like MTV, TRL, that's from back in my day. And so I thought that I wanted to do that, and I didn't do that. So here we are, just having all of these events with a purpose.
And we're going to talk about these events soon. So now take us back there so you said you're going on a year, right? And you also, and we're going to talk a little bit more, but you're an author.
I am.
And then you started Tea with Tiffany as well.
I did.
So tell us about because everyone thinks writing a book, it's really hard.
Right.
It's difficult.
Right.
So what was that like for you, and why did you write the book that you did?
Well, I saw all of the different things that I had went through in my life. Being a teenage mother as a freshman in college, not really having any real footing, and then just knowing fully well that I wanted to write about that, because if anything, when women look at me or when people see me, I want them to see hope, right? Like, if Tiffany did it, then I can do it too, right? I don't believe that I'm above anybody, right? So when people say the Tiffany Draper, I'm like, please don't say that, right? Because it I don't want to feel like I'm bigger, than anybody. I'm the same. I'm on the same level playing field, and I feel like the true definition of getting it out of the mud. And I say that because I don't have any, really loans or really big backing of investors or anything like that. It's just been strategic with me just being consistent, and consistency has really paid off. But when I wrote the book, it's called But She Didn't Quit Though. And that was really a testament to just me going through all of these different things and not giving up. And ironically, when that book came out, I wrote it in 2018. 3 months later, I ended up on life support for 3 days in December. And so it was just kind of interesting, because obviously I was like, all right, the book had a real meaning. I got to go back and rewrite and add some things. Because clearly there was something more for me to do. And so I feel like I'm doing that. So
yeah, that's beautiful. Do you mind sharing a little bit more for those who haven't read your book yet? just if you can give, I know you talked about a little bit, just a deeper summary of where it started from and why you wrote that book of Don't Quit.
I wanted to give insight on, from my perspective, what it looked like to be a single parent. What it looked like to still get up and drop your kid off at school and still try to make an 8 o'clock class at A&M, Alabama A&M. I wanted people to put themselves in my shoes so they could, I guess, very well say, well, if she did it, if she's trying to make it through all of this, like going to class at 8 and then leaving that class and then going to work and then having to be off by a certain time to go and pick up my kid from school and then going to a 5 o'clock class, like that's hard.
Yeah.
And so it talks about being a single parent. It also talks about having being on Section 8 and getting assistance, from the government so that we could make it, right? It also talked about financial aid from Alabama A&M and how I took my refund checks from school and made sure that our rent was paid up for a couple of months so that I could make sure that, one, my son had what he needed and I could still keep a roof and lights on in the house. It talked about my incidents where I had been sexually assaulted and raped, leaving a job that I had in town at 17 years old. And it also talked about overcoming those things, overcoming things that the average person probably wouldn't even dream that they would experience in life. But it happened. And it's a part of my story. It's a part of my character. And I'm so happy to share it. Yeah, it hurts. Beautiful. It happened, right? But all I could do is just stand on it and say, yeah, it happened to me, but I didn't quit.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you even for the courage to write it too.
Yeah.
For those now who just listen to you, where can they purchase your book at?
That's interesting. So I have a ton of books. They're just kind of at home on my shelf.
Okay.
And I have not promoted the book like I should have because I'm actually on the brink of another assignment.
Okay.
I'm writing. It's kind of like an evolution of Tiffany Draper. So, but those books are on sale. They can go to the website, and it is at www.tiffanydraper.com.
Okay.
And I'll be sure to add those to the website later.
Okay. And we'll talk about that more for those who didn't catch that. Thank you for sharing that too, because I know someone like me, I can definitely attest to what you just said. I was sexually abused too, and also went through some verbal abuse as well. So I thank you. It's more people do need to talk about it. It does hurt, but like you said, when you can actually help someone else by talking about what you just shared. So thank you. That touches me.
Yeah.
So thank you. And real quick before we go to break, and then we're going to talk more about all the many amazing things that you do. Just someone right now just listen to you. What advice would you give for we'll just talk about just being a single mom, someone watching right now. What advice would you give? Or just encouragement?
My advice would be to tap into who you are. Begin to peel back layers, even when they hurt. I think the best way to grow is to reveal those things so that we can heal.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you can't heal without actually tackling those things that hurt the most. And so sometimes that's the most important part, is to actually dive deep into the root of issues.
Yeah.
We can, when you water a plant, you are watering not the leaves, but you're watering the soil.
The root.
And so when you water the soil, when you go to the root of the problem, then the plant grows, right? And that's a testament to all of my businesses. And I know you said we're going to talk about that, but I'm telling you, everything that I do, it just aligns. But my advice, my encouraging words would just to continue to just believe that you can do it. It's you versus you at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Heal, and it's you versus you. We'll be right back to hear more about the many amazing things that Tiffany does in the studio that we're in right now.
Hello Huntsville is a weekly lifestyle audio and video podcast produced in studio and on location to showcase Huntsville's best activities, entertainment, neighborhoods, and all the unique attractions that make the Rocket City one of the top cities to live in the nation. Our primary audience is adults who live, work, play, and innovate in the Huntsville metro area. And each episode will feature Cynthia or Hannah in conversation with business owners, decision makers, elected officials, and some of the city's most compelling personalities telling the stories of their hometown. Whether you're local, new in town, or just passing through, Hello Huntsville will have something for you.
We are here again with Tiffany Draper, CEO, entrepreneur, author, and all of the above. Now let's get to the good stuff. So tell us where we are right now currently.
So we are currently inside of Studio 53, which is an event venue that I've owned for the last 5 years. And I've been trying to expand and grow out of it, but they won't let me.
So you say you've been here for 5 years,
Yeah.
and you host pretty much everything from...
We have hosted everything from micro weddings
wow.
up to like big 120 people or count birthday parties.
Wow.
So book signings, baby showers, micro weddings, whatever they think of, I try to make that happen. So I'm an event coordinator and a decorator sometimes, but
Okay.
mostly on the planning side.
Okay. And then so we have Studio 53, and then tell us about, is Tea with Tiffany still
No.
going? Okay.
So Tea with Tiffany doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
During COVID, I had a different direction, change of events. Shout out to God.
Right.
And so Tea with Tiffany is no longer. So I just decided to brand myself. And so
Okay.
Tiffany Draper is a brand.
Okay.
There is the Women's Expo Huntsville. That is a brand. And then we also have one of my new businesses, which is a nonprofit organization. It is called She Can Grow.
Oh, okay. So tell us more about that.
So She Can Grow is a nonprofit organization that directly benefits women ages 18 to 55.
Okay.
And usually during that age range, those women are usually underrepresented or supported. And I say that because I happened to be in that position a long time ago with my son, right? Where I needed certain resources that I wasn't able to get because of my age or because of my income. So we have those different organizations that help young girls up to 18, and then we have people that will help you 55 and up, right? But then what about that age bracket between 18 and 15? They need help too.
Yeah.
And so my goal for that particular organization is to make sure that we can allocate resources, whether it's financial literacy, education, if they wanted to go back for a trade to learn how to do makeup or do hair, or if they wanted to go back and get some type of an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. But I just wanted to be that, I guess, catalyst or liaison between helping them get to the next point. So a friend of mine said, well, what about She Will Grow? Well, She Will Grow is dependent on whether or not they want to. So
Right.
you can if you want to.
That's real. That's real. So you give enough help that they can get them on their feet, and then
That's
they
right.
have to do a little work
That's right.
themselves as
That's
well.
right. Because I know you can.
That's beautiful.
Right.
That's beautiful. And then is that housed here in Huntsville? Is your nonprofit here in Huntsville?
It is. It is. It's about a month old now.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And are you out of a certain building, or like when the women who want to get their GED or something like that, do you make that connection, or is it here?
Yeah, it all happens here.
Oh,
So
wow.
if we decide
Okay.
to one day have a financial literacy class, or if they want to go and take GED training classes, or if they want to come in and learn how to sew, or learn how to apply makeup, or learn how to, I don't know, properly fix things that are on their credit report, those things will all take place here at Studio
Wow.
53.
And anyone that's watching right now, I'm sure we can talk about it later, but those who want to donate, are there opportunities to do that, and where
Yes.
can they?
So they will go to our website. It is www.shecangrow.org.
Okay.
And as always, we have Facebook pages and Instagram pages as well.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know about that. I need to look that up myself and get more information. That's a really cool resource, especially for even girls who are just coming out of high school.
That's right.
And don't know what to do or don't have the resources.
Right,
so
right.
That's beautiful and definitely
Because
needed.
college may not be for everyone.
Right, right.
And maybe there's something that you want to do, in your life. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. Well, I'm able to talk to you about that. So
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And so you've done the book, you have something else in the works, you have Studio 53. Is there anything that you can share that is like up your sleeve that you are wanting to add to the list of things that you already do?
yeah. There is. I thought that I'd be done at this point, but it's like I wake up every morning with a new initiative. Like, what can I do to stress me out further today? So, yeah, we have the event venue. I'd like a big, huge wedding venue. I would. That is my goal, to own a 50,000 square foot facility that houses rooms and more, so that I can be my own little event venue, you know, everything, and all encompassing, from volleyball games to concerts to weddings to festivals. I just like events, and really, I really like to see people smile. And so I like the people engaging with each other and having a good time. So that's what I like to do. I think one of the main things that I'm looking forward to, and this is so different, but I'm looking forward to maybe owning a coffee shop. Just because I like coffee, and it's a good, you know, type of place where people can meet and have conversations and do business with each other. So
I love that.
I think that, like I said, all of my businesses align, and they go together. She Can Grow, the Women's Expo, and Studio 53, and myself personally. It's all ran by a woman, and it all encompasses growth, because I want to see you do well. So.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to believe that with you, that it is going to happen.
Thank you.
And would you want the coffee shop somewhere like in Huntsville, in this area, or?
Actually, I know this is going to sound really bad, but I like to keep it here and actually like kind of expand down, like right next door to where I am. So I'd like to keep it like on the same
There
block.
needs to be more coffee shops on this side of town.
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's beautiful.
I'm your new Starbucks.
Let's do it. You can see the grow and everything with it. I can see it.
There you go. Well, green's my favorite color.
Okay.
And so I bring green into everything that I do, because for me, green is calming, and green signifies growth to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Just goes.
I love it. And you got the earrings to match it.
I mean.
Well, look, we'll be right back to hear more about the Women's Expo and some events that Tiffany has coming up soon.
The greatest asset we have is our employees.
I'm very excited to welcome you to our new corporate website.
The National Space Club was founded as the National Rocket Club in 1957.
In North Alabama, we are extremely blessed.
True Tone will test your theory in everything, the good things and the bad things. In everything, give him thanks.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
We're here again with Tiffany Draper, CEO. And so I know you guys have heard us say the Woman Expo a few times, and many of you probably don't know the woman behind it all is Tiffany Draper right here next to me. So will you let's just talk about how the Women Expo even got started.
The Women's Expo was started in 2021.
Okay.
Here at Studio 53. And my goal was to do it during a month where women were being recognized. And so that was, of course, Women's History Month, which is in March. And so we got started here. I really don't know how it turned into an annual thing. I will say that I feel forced, a lot of times, but we're in so deep. We're upon year 5 now that I can't stop. Like
Right.
we're like
Right.
almost to a decade, right? So I got started here with about 20 vendors, had a DJ, and it was a bunch of women in here shopping. We brought Violet Edwards in here, and we honor her as like our Woman of the Year. And the next year, someone said, "Hey, are you going to do that thing with women again?" And I was like, "No." And then God was like, "Yes, you are." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to." And so anyway, I thought that I'd just be back in here again. And he was like, "No, we're going to do something bigger." And I was like, "Well, how big are you talking?" Because my
Yeah.
pockets are like
Right.
not that deep, So ended up going down to the Von Braun Civic Center and finding a little small room in the East Hall. And I was like, "Oh, $900, I could do that," And then the full bill came, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute. You didn't say tables and chairs and power and sound and equipment." I was like,
Yeah.
So anyway, from 20 vendors that year, it turned into 80 vendors. And then the next year, it turned into 112 vendors, maybe 115 vendors. And then from the next year, this last one that we just had, we had over 150 vendors this year.
Wow.
So we are still at the Von Braun Civic Center, still having tons of fun. We got people coming from Detroit, from California, from Oklahoma, from Texas, from Florida. People are coming from all over the world. So it's not just the Huntsville, community. It's everybody, because those people are going back home and they're telling their friends like, "Hey, you got to come with me next time." And so they come. Right now on our waiting list for 2025, we already have over 200 vendors signed up. And I haven't even drop the date yet. I haven't said anything, and I think that's a true testament to what's happening, because it's a free community event, and it's to highlight women and to show them that we are stronger together. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. And do you still have like a guest honorary person, like how you Violet Edwards?
So we have the Woman of the Year, and then we also have an Entrepreneur of the Year. And we've been doing that every year too. We give away $500 every year to our entrepreneurs. So it's basically like they came to the expo and they sold all their stuff, but then they got an extra $500 from us, or they got their vendor fees and stuff back or whatever. But
That's beautiful.
however it works, I just want to show them. My goal is to be able to give 3 or 4 $500 checks away, to still honor not just one woman, but several different women, because it's important. So.
And on that day on the Women Expo, can people find you? Are you like, when the event happens, do you duck off in a corner or do you walk around?
It's hard to
depends.
say.
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm usually there with a big burly security guard
Yeah.
that won't let me out of his sight, right? Because they know me by now, and I'll shake everybody's hand, kiss every baby, hug everybody, and they're like, "Hey, you can't do that. We need you here, we need you there." So I'm usually all over the place, but I try to interact with as many people as I can. Is because I love people. I really genuinely love people, and I want them to see me, and I want to see them. Like, I want to be able to say, "Hey, girl, thank you so much for flying out from Colorado to come to my little women's expo," right? Because this expo has gotten so big and so much traction. I want to be able to still make that connection with people. I'm still just me, So
That's beautiful. And I know too, because when I've been back in Huntsville now for 3 years, and it's really cool to see the talk of the Women Expo, how it's
So
just
you've heard
grown.
about it?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
That makes me
It's
happy.
it's been really cool to see that. Just seeing the growth from it each year.
Yeah.
And I have friends that have been vendors and them talking about it.
Good.
And so definitely, if you guys haven't been yet, you definitely need to go. And you said you don't have a date yet, or it can't be released. Can't be released yet.
I can't tell you.
Okay. It's okay. We just have to wait.
I've had the date for about 3 months now. I even have the theme. I can't.
Okay.
I'll release the date in July.
Okay, and we'll have the QR code that's probably showing up now or towards the end of the segment that you guys will be able to scan and go to her website, and there you can kind of check it periodically, and you'll see that when she drops the date for more information. Anyone that's watching right now too, what was it like, especially your first year with, now let's just go with the planning. You said you loved being an event planner, but what was some of the struggles or challenges that you went through of trying to get it together that first year?
It actually wasn't as hard to do it here, because when you're in a controlled space and you know your space, it's yours, then you're prepared for hiccups and things like that, right? But that second year was probably a test, because you know, every year is a learned experience, right? I
Yeah.
take something and I'm like, all right, I won't do that anymore. Or, oh, I'm gonna do that again, right? And so a lot of the things, the issues that I typically run into is space, you know, like, oh, I don't have enough space, or I need power. I didn't realize that power wasn't, you know, here. And so, or I need Wi-Fi, you know. And so now just doing this for so long allows me to really prepare for the ebbs and the flows, you know, the things that I might miss. And so now I'm like a chief strategist now,
Right.
because I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing now, you know
Right.
what I mean? And a part of this, I got my kind of starting doing events and stuff at the city of Huntsville, because I was an event coordinator, marketing. We had an annual health and wellness fair. And so I was like, this is interesting. I could
Yeah.
do this. And when I did my first event for my grandmother, it was like her 70th birthday party. I was like, hey, I knocked this out of the park. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm on to something. And so I actually am having an event planning class this weekend here, where I'm teaching other event planners how to strategically market, gain sponsorships, and different things for their events.
That's really cool.
Right.
And we also haven't shared this. So your mom, you're an author, you are CEO. So what do you do when you have time, so you don't have a lot of time? What do you do for fun if you're able to do something for fun?
I sleep.
You sleep?
I think, all right, it's kind of weird, but I am a really, really, really big Nipsey Hussle fan.
Okay,
right?
that's not weird.
It's not weird at all, I don't think.
No, it's not.
And I actually love going to the West Coast.
Okay.
I love California. It's one of my favorite places to be, so I like to travel to the West. And so that's what I do. I might pick up Vegas and go and hit a few tables.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like being out there. I just can't afford to live out there
Right,
yet.
it's
so
too expensive. Basically, you just like to travel.
I
and
do.
When you go sightsee, sleep,
Yeah,
eat good food.
I like culture. I like
Okay.
to eat. I like
Okay.
to learn about different cultures, like what people like to do for fun, what they like to eat, why they do certain things. I'm an observer of people. And so I like to know what people are doing so that I can bring that back to Huntsville.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, I've really enjoyed just sitting here and chatting with you. I know those watching too have really enjoyed and learned so many things. You said some encouraging things, and also just for someone who's a businesswoman like you and that want to be like you, you've really shared a lot of how they can. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. And again, those who are watching, you can, if you want to follow Tiffany, scan that QR code, click on it, and you'll take you right to her website. You can get all the information you need and where to follow her on all social media platforms. Do you have Facebook and Instagram,
I have
TikTok?
all of that.
All of it, she's got it. No questions asked. Thank you again, Tiffany, and join us next time to see who's off the clock.